Good evening, everyone. For me, it's evening. Thanks for the awesome introduction, Alex. Thank you for that. Now, let's start with looking at pandas. Here, are pandas already. Some awesome gifts. Has anyone an idea what the link is between these gifts of the pandas and front-end development? I have the chat open, so I will try to look at it on my second screen right now. Anyone an idea? I see some people typing, so gotta wait a few minutes. I don't have that much time. As Alex said, I have like 10 minutes. Let's go. Okay, I don't see that much, or maybe I have the wrong chat open. But let's let's say what the link is. The link is, of course, Panda CSS, and that's what we're going to do. We're going on a quick safari through code, exploring Panda CSS. Before I do that, I wanted to introduce myself, but I think Alex has done a real good job on doing that. So, real quick, I'm front developer at Turcom from Belgium. I'm indeed a host, organizer of the Bellevue Meetup group. And I'm a core member of the Chakra clan, which is the team behind ArcUI, Chakra UI, ZGS, and of course Panda CSS. So big shout out to the team. On socials, you can find me under at Carvik, like on Twitter and Discord. And yeah, let's take a look at more pandas. So, what exactly is Panda CSS? What can you do with it? So, let's imagine you have a very simple application, like a to-do list, like everyone has, and you want to style it. Well, you can use Panda CSS for that. Or let's say you have a huge application with a whole design system behind it. Well, you can use Panda CSS to create a design system and then style the application with it. It's super awesome to do. Now, what exactly is Panda CSS? Well, it is a CSS in JS styling engine that generates CSS at build time. It only generates the styling that's used, and there will be no duplicates of atomic classes in the rendered style sheet. Now, it is optimized for performance and readability. Now, Panda also comes with type safety for your CSS properties and the design tokens that you use, also the new ones that you create, the custom ones. Now, it also has a focus on developer experience. Like, for example, for some people, CSS in JS is better developer experience, for some not. And leave that open. But yeah, with type safety, there is also IntelliSense, and there is also a VS Code extension that really helps you to build, yeah, with Panda CSS. Now, Panda CSS is also framework agnostic, which means that you can use it with your favorite framework or server components. So with Vue, React, Astro, I'm pretty sure you can use it also with Lit, like from the previous talk. Not tried that yet, but I'm pretty sure you can do it. So yeah, really cool. Now let's take a look at Panda on a slide. And for that, we have to go to the Panda Playground, right? Which is just an application online that you can go to, and which is great to get started because there are a few examples. I'm going to show you a few. And it's also an isolated place if you want to play around with Panda before putting it in your own project, or if you want to create a small reproduction of a bug or something and share it with other people. If you want to add Panda to your own project, like a Vue project, well, there is a very well written guide in the docs for that. So just go to the docs. It's panda-css.com. And if you want to go to the playground, it's play.pandacss.com. Or you can go to the docs like this. I hope my screen is shared. Let me double check for that. Okay, perfect. And here you can find the playground right here at the top. And if you want to go there, I already opened it, already zoomed in a little for that. And it will open with a very, very basic example of how to use Panda CSS. So for example, here we want to style this and have the text in yellow, for example. We have this React code, this is React. And in there you have the render function. And since it's CSS in JS, we can just style right away inside the JavaScript. And for that, we have the class name. And there we pass in a CSS function, which comes from the style system folder, which is generated by Panda CSS and lives in your code, in your code base. And this CSS function, well, it allows us to style the elements that it is passed on. And we pass in all the CSS properties that we want to use for the styling. For example, we want to put the display on flex, or the color, like I said, we want it yellow to yellow.300. The yellow.300 that comes from the default theme, the theme that Panda ships. But you can customize it. You can do your own thing with it. So let's say we want to change the background of this div to red. So we type in PG, which is a shorthand for background. So less things to type, which is great. And then red. And as you can see, there is some intelligence thanks to time safety, 500. And there you go. We have a red background. Super cool. Now let's do another thing. Let's say we want a hover state, which is a little bit special, not that special, but okay. So hover, there's a pseudo selector for this, which is called underscore hover. And we pass in an object with all the styles that we want it to have when it's hovers. So let's say color of the text to be a blue.500. And if I hover here, you can see it's blue. Super cool. Now, you can do like almost anything that you can do in CSS here as well. I'm pretty sure if you watched the next talk, there's some modern stuff that we learned that you can try out in Panda right here. So for example, what we have, let's say we do this span and then first of type, and we want the span in this element to have a background of green. And that's happening right there. Super cool. Now, the cool thing about the playground as well is that there is this tab of CSS, and this one shows the CSS that is generated. So this is atomic CSS, and if you can see here, we have deflex, which is the atomic CSS class, which is flexing, and this comes from, of course, from line 9. Now, if you would use this again, it will not be generated double in this file. You also have the background 500, etc., etc. It's really cool. Now, let's say we have a component like a button, and we want to style it, and we want to reuse it multiple times in our application. We don't want to do all these things over and over again, copy and paste it. Well, for that, Panda has a thing that is called recipes, and that is like styling that you can reuse. So under examples here, you can see there's a few examples, and one of them is atomic recipes and also config recipes and slot recipes. But config and atomic are like the main big things. They're doing the same, they're creating recipes, but just the place, there's a few differences, like the place where the recipe lives. For example, config recipes lives in the config. Atomic recipes, it lives in your code anywhere you want. So let's take a look at this. Scroll up. These are the buttons that we want. We have two variants of the buttons, one solid, one outline. And very quickly, there is like a new function for this, for creating recipes, and this CVA function also comes from the style system folder. And in here, we add an object with a few values. The first one is the base value, and this is the base style of each button component that we have. And we want to apply it to, of course, like border radius or medium, as you can see. And then we create a variance. And we create, for this example, we have a visual variance. And we have a solid one and an outline one. And there we add the styling that we want for it. This is a special, like a use case. As you can see, the color at base, which is light mode, will be white. And dark, it will be gray at 800. Here I can switch it. As you can see, it switches. It's really cool. Now we created our recipe. How can we use it? Well, we go to the render function. Under class name, like before we had CSS function here, we now call the button function, which is the recipe function that we created there, line 4. And then we tell what variants we want. We want a visual solid one for the first one and a visual outline for the second one. And there you go. It's rendered. That's how you can do it. And yeah, you can use the recipe over and over again if you export it. That's sadly all I can do in like 10 minutes. I have 1 minute left for the last slides. And there's a slide of interesting links. If you want to try out Panda and learn more, I highly suggest to take a look at the docs. There are also the guides for how to do it with your favorite framework like Vue. There's also a link to the playground if you want to play around with it, or check out the examples that I just showed. And also a link to the VS Code extension to help you out, with a even better developer experience. Now, I'm Sybren Willemot, and this was my very short safari through code of Panda CSS. And if you know these apps, then, well, never say no to Panda. Thanks for having me, and have an awesome event.
All right, Sybren, thank you so much. I love that. It was short, but it was concise, it was clear, and we saw so many pandas and so much amazing atomic CSS there. Crazy good.
Thank you. I hope someone counted all the pandas. I have no idea how many there are.
Well, if anyone did, write it in the chat, or if you see the recording, write it down in the comments, and we'll see. Maybe whoever got it right will get a thumbs up from Sybren and me, probably.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
If there are any more questions, of course, use the chat or use the Frontend Nation Discord to ask them. Sybren will be around there. And yeah, thank you so much for the talk. It was amazing to have you here, and hope to see you very soon in the Netherlands, Belgium. We'll see.